Let's go.
Dr. Rosie Milligan, one of the most sought-after speakers on the circuit today. Her live internet talk show, Express Yourself, is the most provocative, thought-provoking, and talked-about radio show on the internet. There's no holds barred, and Dr. Milligan puts the B in bold. She brings it every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Rosie has been proclaimed the most provocative female writer of the century. Her books include Satisfying the Black Man and Black Woman Sexually Made Simple, Why Black Men Choose White Women, and the book Nigga Please. These books have raised eyebrows across the country. She has authored 21 books and published 350 titles for authors nationwide. Check Dr. Rosie out at drrosie.com for her books, articles, and archives of her internet talk show. Sit at the feet of wisdom. Dr. Milligan is indeed a timekeeper and scorekeeper. She is the clock, calendar, and almanac for Black America. You need to hear her.
Well, good morning. Good morning, you all. Top of the morning here in sunny California. It is hot as you can add the other word to, but it is hot, you guys. You're in for a great show. I am your host, Dr. Rosie Milligan, coming to you live with nothing but straight talk. You know, that's how we do it around here. It's nothing but straight talk. My co-hosts are the wonderful, the invisible man, Mr. Keith Swanson. Women just looking for Keith. David, they looking all over for Keith. I tell them, recognize his voice. The first woman who catch him and him up and say, hey, I got him. You got some money on the table. I hope you guys heard him fine, Keith. You're going to break my bank account. Keith, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, Dr. Rosie.
Keith, I don't know why they can't find you. Your voice is so distinct. I don't know why they haven't caught you.
It is very distinct. I'm like Waldo.
I can't believe it, you guys. And my other co-host is the fabulous. We called her the Valley Girl. She's out in the valley. You pick it up with her accent. She's a real estate guru. She sells houses, buy houses. She does everything to houses. So if you ever want to make a loan, buy a house, whatever you want to do, give her a shout out. Shawana, go ahead and just throw your number out there right now, okay?
Okay. It's 818-201-6565. Once again, that number is 818-201-6565.
All right. If you ever need any real estate help, you want to call my girl Shawana, okay?
Call me.
Yes. You guys, we have a great show today. This is part 2. You know, last week we talked about why reasons that so many black men are unmarried. It was a real hot show, and I got a lot of comments, a lot of emails afterward. So I decided to take it on again, do part 2. We're going to look at reason most black men, because it's more black men that's unmarried than you would believe. You said it was 64%, Keith?
Oh, actually, was it 32% of black men are married, so there's 68% of black men that are not married.
Wow. So, I mean, it's time to have that conversation. You know, every media, newspaper dominate everything about black women. Black women are unmarried. They head a household. But you never hear them talk about what's really going on when it comes to relationships and marriage with men. So most black men, I understand, want to marry a black woman. And most black women want to marry a black man. So what's the problem? So if black men are not wanting to get married and black women are not married, I mean, put these two together and you can see why so many single black women, because the black men just don't want us.
No, it's not that they don't want you.
Wait. Let me clarify. I'm not putting myself in because I'm highly wanted, okay? I am highly sought after, so don't get it twisted.
The thing is that what women forget is that wife is a role, okay? Not necessarily a person. It's a role.
But whose role? White man's role.
No. You go to Africa. You go to any place on the globe, right? Wife is a role in a society.
What is the role, Keith?
What role is mother, caretaker of the house, caretaker of the man, right? That's the traditional role of a wife, okay?
How do you caretake a man?
It depends on the society that you're in. Okay.
So
Okay,
there's no script. That's what I'm talking about. There's no script. It's
there's
everybody's interpretation.
there is a script in your society. Okay, you go to Africa, what a wife means on the continent, West Africa, is different than what it means in East Africa. But your society determines the role of what a wife is. Okay.
Well, let's talk about here in the United States.
Well, they don't make them anymore. You can go back and there's a great movie that Denzel Washington was in called Fences, right? Okay. Rose and Troy had defined roles of husband and wife right off the bat. You can see what they are. Okay. They stopped. There was a deal that they cut. In fact, I got to do a review of Fences. Right, there's a deal that they cut with together. Right, I'm gonna go out and bust my ass and provide for the family. Okay, provide for you and the family and the household. Right, and you're gonna take care of the house and the children, and that is the role that you have. Right. And
I like what you said. It's the role they cut. They cut out.
They were trained for it. Okay, if you go to Latin America, they still train wives. Okay, they still train wives as roles. Like I asked you, okay, when were you ready to be a wife? You said at 13, 14, 15 because you were trained for it, right? They no longer train women, especially black women, to be wives. So basically, you want marriage, but thing is, was marriage created for partnership? No, it wasn't.
You're talking about cooking and cleaning. What you talking?
Cooking and cleaning. Cooking and cleaning. Unless you want to reverse the roles and have the man cooking and cleaning, and you go out and work 60 hours a week.
That sounds good to me.
Well, it sounds good to you, but I ask most women, that's not what they want.
Okay. Anyway, okay. Well, look, part 2, we're gonna look at some of the reasons that black men are unmarried. You're going to hear today from real men. They're going to share their why. We're going to take a close-up look at how singleness perpetuated poverty generation and why black men and black women must redefine their role in marriage now. I say to everybody that's married, you need to go to counseling, do whatever you need to stay married, stay in the game. If you're single, you need to get married. Find somebody that you're compatible with, not going to be perfect, because I was telling David here from Tennessee what I'm looking at the future with the income that black men and black women are making, and based on things we see today, a person by themselves in the future, I mean, it's going to be pretty darn sad. That's all I can tell you. So it's better to have 2 incomes, even if one is much smaller than one. Then, yeah, it is. So anyway, since we're going to have a lot of men that's going to chime in today, so I won't do a whole lot of talk, but I'm really excited. One lady emailed in. She said everybody on last week, she said they were over 60. I think that's what she said. I think we may have asked somebody about their age. Maybe that's where she got that from. She said they probably going to wait till they get a few more years older. And then they're going to be looking for someone to take care of them in their last days. Did you hear about it say in their last days? She said they make black women suffer. I don't know what she meant about that. Black women sexually frustrated, look angry. So anyway.
Get a younger man if you can get him.
What are you talking about, Keith?
And sexually frustrated, and an older man, a man of that age can't fit your needs. Find a man that will. It's called a free market. Yeah, younger men are much more sexually active.
Oh, Keith.
Yeah, and
some of these younger men from the story that I'm getting is not worth 2 cents. Okay,
they might not, they might not be worth that, but they can satisfy you. Okay.
Okay. Well, when me get started, you need to learn how to satisfy yourself. We ain't gonna turn this into adult show.
Evidently not. Evidently not. They should.
Okay, let's take a caller. We have David calling us from Nashville, Tennessee. Keith, you getting messy. You getting started already.
You wanted part 2,
I went to church last Sunday, and I went this Sunday. You guys, they let me in, Keith. They let me in.
They let you in.
Hey, Dr. Rosie, I have to take out their holy water and make a circle around you, okay? Because you're going to need it.
I know. Let's hear from David. David, all the way from Tennessee. Come on, David. David is not married. David has 2 successful children. So, David, why you haven't taken on a wife?
Good morning, Dr. Rosie. Keith, good to hear your voice again. Shawana, good to hear your voice as well. It's been a long time. It's good to be back on the show. I haven't taken on a wife because I just don't want the headaches.
Ooh,
I just don't.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
I mean, today's black women, and it's not all of them, obviously, but quite a few of them, it's all about self. It's all about, it's not about taking care of the needs of the family or the husband. That old saying, happy wife, that just doesn't make sense to me, and that's the mantra that you find many of them out here. And, a lot of my friends are single, make good money. When you're at a point where you're basically financially stable, you tend not to want headaches. And if you're kicking butt all day long at the job and then you got to come home and kick butt, that stuff gets old after a while. It really does. So most guys I'm happily single, and I love it. I can go where I want, do what I want. I don't have to worry about someone mad at me because I looked at a woman in the wrong way and all of the other stuff that comes along with the relationship. It's for me.
Let me ask you this, David, because I ask men this all the time, right? Okay, if you have a wife, you have a woman, a significant other, right? Especially a woman, right? You have to go through at least 1 or 2 hours to download every day, where she has to download her angst onto you. You have to sit there and listen to it.
What do you mean listen to it?
No doubt about it.
Supposed to do?
Right, but I'm just saying that should go both ways, to be totally honest. But I think we've gotten to a point where it only goes one way. And unfortunately, I believe that women don't realize that men have feelings. They just don't. Dr. Rosie, I went through fighting the state of Tennessee about fathers' rights. And that's when it dawned on me that women simply don't care about a man's feelings. It's all about them. And you certainly don't believe that they care about their children. You put us in a place where we're insignificant unless we need to cut a check. And men are tired of that. Men realize now that there are other options out there, unfortunately. And for instance, my son, until he married, he was planning to go to Africa to get him a woman because he felt like that they would serve his needs better than an American woman. So there are serious issues. And then you go into the fact that a lot of these women out here, the way they talk, the way they dress, the way they look with these fake eyelashes, all these tattoos, they're not inviting. I don't want a woman, if I go out to her social media page and she's out there twerking. I don't want my friends to see that. I want my woman to be upwardly mobile and professional. And if you want to be freaky, then you be freaky in the bedroom with me, not the world on social media. And you find a lot of guys, young guys like that stuff, but guys who are mature, who are career oriented, they don't particularly care for that. And you're finding that more and more men are opting out of those types of relationships.
Guess what, David? Guess what? You know what the trend amongst younger men is, especially 25 and under? Blue passports. They get out of Dodge. They're getting out of Dodge, so it's not just you.
Yeah.
They're getting out of Dodge.
But wait a minute.
Yeah,
But David, listen. Don't you think many black men are really putting black women in stereotype position? I mean, every magazine you pick up, it's everybody. The black woman, she's bossy. She's too aggressive. I mean, you have a relationship with 1 or 2 women, and you put all of us in the same category. There are many women out there I know that's not like that. And you guys don't give them a chance because you assume because the last person you had was that way, then you think the next woman. You guys are not giving women a fair chance based on your lousy experience.
Dr. Rosie, who's pushing this boss B, this city hot girl, city girl, I don't take no mess kind of stuff? And who's funding this stuff? It's not black men are funding this stuff. It's women of all ages actually funding this, looking at the reality shows, funding the hot girl IG models and stuff like that. This black woman actually funding this stuff and actually getting these surgeries and stuff like that. to actually fit this mold. Black men are
think
not
that's
driving
what
this.
you guys like. They think
No, they
that's
know.
what you
No,
like.
because they don't listen to us because black men have consistently said we don't like this. We don't like you this way. We don't like you pushy and bossy and with fake hair and stuff like that and those big butterfly eyelashes. Or you keep saying we don't like it. Guess what? Y'all keep doing it
But
because you don't listen to us.
you know what they say? They say when they're out with their girlfriends, the one who has the big butt that they went to Mexico or wherever and got everything showing and the eyelash and all this kind of stuff. That's the one the man walks up to and start talking to. Shawana's on the line. I don't know if she's heard that. That's what I hear women say. They think you guys like that stuff. So why don't you guys tell them that you don't? Maybe that's why this show is.
We do.
You do?
We do, Dr. Rosie. We tell them all the time. They don't listen because most of those women like that are dressing for their girlfriends. It's kind of like having the big wedding. I want to outdo my girlfriend's wedding, so I got to have a big wedding. It's not about that. Men typically are subtle, quiet creatures, and they don't want their women out there flaunting their bodies, their looks, and all of those things. And it's not all black women, just like it's not all black men, but certainly women are upset about being stereotyped. Black men have been stereotyped for decades about what we're not. We're deadbeats. We're no good. We're cheaters and all of those things. It runs both ways, and if we want to solve the relationship problem, then we've got to start talking to one another, and we've got to start having critical conversations, and not get upset when I tell you that I don't like your weave or I don't like your hairdo. Just like you can tell me, hey, I don't like your beard, or I don't care for bald men, or whatever the case may be. We've got to start sitting down and talking to one another and listening, because we can talk all we want, but if we don't listen, it doesn't make a difference.
You know what they've told, what women have told me, and I talked to lots of them. But black women say, we will not believe that you're serious until you leave, until you start leaving us. Then we'll actually believe that you're serious. Because we don't. As long as you stay, we figure that you're just talking.
Wow, David, stay on.
I've
Paul.
heard that.
Let's go to Paul. Paul, because we got a lot of people want to chime in. So go ahead, Paul. Why you not married?
Okay. Why am I not married? Because I couldn't afford it. All right. It's like you spend the money trying to impress the lady. You know,
wait.
you
Who
put
say
this
you
little
need
false.
to impress them, Paul? Who told you need to impress somebody? That's on you.
Yeah, right. Okay, how else do you get their attention? All right, unless you're that bad boy, that dope boy, that athlete, or that entertainer, what are you going to do to get their attention? Okay?
Okay.
You know. So, I guess I use sort of the terminology I've been learning. I've been listening for a few years from the Black Manosphere. And as embarrassing as it sounds, it seems to me that I fall under the category of a blue slip shoe wearing educated lame. All right? Unless there's certain things that they want to have that if you don't meet those qualifications, they don't even pay you no attention. All right? Or if you do, you end up being what they call a beta male orbiter. All right? You end up in the friend zone, which is not where you really want to be. All right? And it's frustrating. What's really funny is if one woman decides that she's interested in you, then all the women that made you, that beta male orbiter, all of a sudden, here they come. All right? It's kind of like I've heard this. There was this one YouTube series. I think Issa Rae had something to do with it. It's called How Men Become Dogs. And the so-called dog master was saying that no woman wants a man that another woman doesn't want.
Okay.
So as soon as one woman pays you attention, here come all the other ones. And it's like, let me see if I can put it like this.
But let's boil it down, Paul, because I'm gonna have you guys I can come back to you because I want to get everybody in. But bottom line, why aren't you married?
Right now I can't afford it. I hit the lottery, then I'm gonna go ghost because everybody's gonna show up.
You can't afford it. I've heard that too many times, and I don't think that's it. I don't think there's a man out there who cannot afford to get married. So, okay, let's go to the next call. You can stay on, Paul. Let's see. Let's go to 978. But let me give the number out. Those who want to call is 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. And we're doing part 2 of reasons most black men are unmarried. And Tim just walked up here and said it's about money. You Negroes need to stop talking about it's just money. Come on, please. That ain't nothing but a damn excuse.
If women stop talking about it, we'll stop talking about it.
Let's go to 978.
Dr. Rosie, do you know how much a mani-pedi is these days?
How much what is?
A mani-pedi, a manicure and a pedicure?
No, how much is it? Because I do my own.
Oh, okay. Well, in this area, it's a minimum of $100. Then you throw in the weave. You kicking out big bucks.
Are the women asking you to buy the weave and get the pedicure and manicure?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Well, you must look like you're rolling. Men need to stop getting out there flow showing, having paid your car note behind in your rent and trying to take a woman to a and trying to take a woman to a high-end place doing all this stuff. And then later on you get mad because she wants you to keep up that style. So men need to stop that. If you don't have it, just don't try to act like you have it. Stop trying to floss and flow show.
Then they call you Dusty.
Well, then you don't need that woman. You guys need to start your relationship off Dutch. What's wrong with Dutch? I mean, what's wrong? Why would you make a big investment in a woman? You don't even know what type of relationship you're going to have. Someone told me that, I don't know if that was you, David, that the woman started out before she even went out with you wanting $500. But let me go to 978. 978, go ahead. Area code 978.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, yeah, this is Elaine in Massachusetts. I am not married. I never really wanted to get married. My husband tricked me. He says, oh, your mother will be so upset if you had children at wedlock. Being married was not really important to me. And so when these guys are talking about women taking advantage, I do see that happening. But that's not from all black women. That's not from women that have a certain characteristic about themselves. They have a lot of self-respect. A lot of these men are attracted to women that are showing a whole lot of cleavage and doing all that. And then when their family see them with them, they're like, oh, I'm not with her. But when they ask for certain favors and you do it, then they want to make it look like, I didn't really ask for, you wanted it. They want to turn it around. So the bottom line, women don't want to get married either. So don't get it twisted. I find that when I tell men, they come to me and say, you want to get married? I'm like, what for? Why would I want that? Why would I want someone to be taking over my life, making me miserable? So
wow.
Marriage serves a purpose, but after a certain point in life, if the person's going to make you unhappy, don't be with them. Who says you have to be with angry women? Why are you attracted to angry women? If that's all you're seeing, then that must be something that turns you on, an angry woman. I don't know.
Wow. Sometimes people tend to want to hook up with someone that they feel beneath them. I know my brother was like that. He was always in the gutter with some women that he could stand up and say big words before. I mean, just stupid stuff. But we got to have some dialogue. It got to get better than that, because I'm telling you, if we don't hook up and have two incomes, I don't know what's going to happen to our generation. So I think we need to not be selfish and just think about ourselves and start looking at us as a whole, as a nation. Where are we headed with this thing? It really is. It's about money, but not that way.
Yeah, but Dr. Rosie, we shouldn't be just looking, we need two incomes. If people had the right education, they don't have to go and look to have somebody pay for everything. When I go out on a date, I make sure I have my own money. I even pay for the meal so I can control the date. So I can control what's going to happen next. If I feel like, no, I don't feel like going in your car, I'm going to go in my own car, I don't have to feel guilty like, oh, my God, he paid so much for the meal. I think the focus is on the wrong thing. It's on the respect that doesn't happen on the first date. When a man walks up to me, he's
Did you say you pay for meals?
Yeah,
Excuse me?
Did you say you pay for meals? Because I'm gonna be in Baltimore here in a little bit. I mean, you know, if you wanna, I'm just saying.
You know what? I've met guys on LinkedIn, and all they want to talk about right away is sex. I'm like, well, what? You know, when women meet their challenge, then they back down. Like, whoa, wait a minute. I think it's a lot of talk. It's a game, and it's a lot of talk. So it's okay, play games. But when in the end of life, when you have nobody, you really can't complain. You can't complain when people have cookouts and you don't have anybody at your cookout.
It's not a game. It's the way men have been socialized, and a lot of people to forget that. You know, you're actually trained to think and feel and act a certain way, and when somebody goes counter to that, it's going to throw you off. So
I'm tired of men talking. Keith, I'm tired of that. When men weren't trained to do this, men weren't trained. We weren't. What were men trained to do? I bet they were trained. Were they trained to have sex? No. But hell, they do it, right?
We are trained to have sex.
Ain't nobody told you to have sex.
No, we are trained. You train by the environment. You trained by your buddies. You trained by the women. Men, especially black men, are trained to have sex a certain way. And there's a difference. And there's a difference between how black men actually approach sex and everybody else does. Black men, especially black in America, approach sex a completely different way than everybody else. And we're socially castigated if we don't perform it in a certain way. So that's not true. We are all trained to have sex. It's not true.
We need more dialogue. You guys on the wrong page. All of this. I tell women. I mean, if you so excited about a penis, you may have some challenges in life, especially with high blood pressure, diabetes, all the stuff that happen with black men. So if his erected penis is all you're looking for, you're gonna be in trouble.
Listen to what black men have to go through, and this is something that black women are going to have to learn. Okay, you're going to have to start listening to what we're saying and take it seriously. Right?
What you saying?
In other words, black boys, especially black boys from the time they're 10 years old, right? They have a pressure to perform and actually get a woman, right? And if you don't, the women will look at you funny, the men will look at you funny. So if you get a guy that's 21, 22, 23, and he's a virgin, he's going to get looked at a certain way. You ain't got no game. You're not a real man. You can't perform. You can't please a woman, blah, 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 blah. You can't talk to a woman. You can't date her right. There's a lot of pressure on black boys and black men to actually be pleasing to women, and women don't realize that.
That stereotype. Then you guys got to tell her. You please yourself. I'm not put in the world to bring joy to everything that you want. You guys got to learn to speak up.
It might be stereo. Men are speaking up, and that's the problem. The thing is, when men start speaking up, then women say, "Oh, you just hate black women because you're speaking up." Get a lot of that. Anyway, I'm gonna mute up.
Okay, let's go to 323-829.
Oh, Tony, how you doing?
Hi, Tony.
That's me. All right. I heard a lot of stuff. I'm not married. I'm quite successful. Now, we don't need to start with that. Men love to say stuff like that, but it's true. The thing is, my father, I'm going to try to make it fast. You know, he was an airman first class after Tuskegee Airman and a mathematician and electrical engineer. His thought process raising us up was quite impeccable. He said, Tony, please don't get married. I said, why, Dad? You love crazy women. I said, why is that? You're going to have crazy kids. I never understood that. I did love crazy women. That crazy cookies and good stuff. Well, I ain't gonna lie. However, as you grow and get older, as I went through college, acquired 3 college degrees, also took a downfall in life. Let's put it all out there. You know, I go butt naked, Rosie. You know me. And get real about it. I took a downfall with the alcohol and the cocaine. Got back 24 years clean and sober. Everything's great. I own a home and another property. However, now, of course, I've dated some women, this and that. And what's so interesting, I've dated a couple of them for a while. And, you know, a couple of them have said recently they got a new hustle now. A couple of them said, hey, Daddy, not Tony, Daddy, who's going to get your house if you die? I said, huh? I said, let me go with this one. Who's going to get my house? Well, you know, I thought maybe we'd go down to the Hall of Justice. And, you know, I said, no, wait a minute. Hold up. I said, okay, let me help her. Give me all that money back that I gave you for sex over an 8-year period, and we'll talk about it. Now you sound like the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal making sounds. Okay? So you want all that money, but you won't give you the money back.
So then what past the money you want your house now, right?
Right, because she done got older now. And see, what you got to understand is, well, I'm going to be blunt. Pussy has a shelf life. Ain't nobody buying 60 and 70-year-old coochie. Okay? Well, sometimes they can. Hold up,
Tony. Why should you be buying 20, 25? I mean, if you got something going for yourself, why should you be buying sex from anybody unless you feel like you don't have? Come on.
You're right. Trying to feel my way. I'm going to get there. I'm trying to feel my way and play it safe. I'm still watching it. Because, see, I'm watching it. You're right. Fast forward. Found out that I asked a buddy of mine who was a detective guy, did a little research. He said, Tony, you ready for this? I said, what? That woman wants to get back to you. She has a son and a daughter. I said, yeah. The daughter's in college. Yeah. Okay, the kid's father was murdered. The boyfriend was murdered. Where do you think you stand? I say, case closed. Now, fast forward with that information. There was an older friend of mine. I just wasn't too sure about it. I said, man, I can't take this man on. Move him in. I can't move him out. Never want that. I watched friends of mine go through that. I worked hard to get what I got.
Why would you move somebody in? Exactly. If you thought enough of that, why didn't you marry the person?
Never have, never will. Watch this. You're right. Now, I got better.
Tony, are you saying you never will marry?
No, hold on. Watch this. I'm getting there.
Answer my question.
I'm not saying I never will. No. I'm not going to say I never will today. No way.
Okay.
I never will say I never will get married. I wouldn't entertain the idea. Here's where I'm going with that. I had to get better. See, gentlemen, I attract what I am.
Okay.
Now I have a lady friend for the past, 18 years. She's a clinical scientist at Dignity Health. I tried to give this woman money. She said, why don't you put that in your bank account? I'm here for you. Now, she just closed escrow on a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home out there in Lancaster with a pool. That's a drive, too, damn. Because she just buried the kid's father. Okay, she just did. I understand that. She said, baby, I've been married for 20 years before. I got to breathe. Okay, before you and I got together. Just let me breathe because I went through some things with him. Not a problem. But now I would not mind marrying this woman. I bought her a diamond. No problem. Don't feel no sweat, no pain. It's great. But what I had to find out, I attract what I am today. Hell, I wasn't worth a shit. I'm up here trying to buy these women. I could only attract what I was. And someone said something about can't afford to be married. Man, please. Marriage is the easiest thing in the world you can get. I could meet a woman Monday and be married Friday on top of what I have. That is no lie. That is no lie. No, that's anybody. Anybody.
Hold tight. Let me get some of the arguments. Don't go nowhere, Tony, because you didn't put it out there. Well, Tony didn't say he wouldn't get married. He didn't say he wouldn't get married. He said he's attracting what he was. So that's a good point. There's someone else holding that haven't chimed in. I think we have, let's see, do we have Ray Wilson on the line or do we have Don on the line? Open up the mic if you care to have comments. Number is 310-928-7733, 310-928-7733. Is there anyone else on the line that have not had a chance to have that say? Go ahead.
I know y'all been chomping at the bit. Come on now.
Okay, go ahead. You're out there. Go ahead. Speak your piece.
I think they're just listening.
Okay. Well, Tony said he can get married. Well, he did debunk some of the myth because I'm hearing too many men talking. I can't afford to get married. Can't afford to get married. Who ever heard of such?
Rosie, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
I have a business American Express card. She got one of my business American Express cards in her wallet. You know the damn thing ain't never been used. She got her own.
Okay.
Now I have gotten better because I can only attract what I am. Asshole, I'm attract asshole. You see?
Okay, Keith, you hear what he said?
I hear what he's saying, but guess what?
I hope you men are listening.
But guess what?
I want to hear that. Yes.
In other words, you have it. You know, you can afford to get married, and you have it, and that's what attracts them. Okay.
No, that's not attractive. She got her own, sir.
What I'm saying,
she has her own.
It doesn't matter. Women with their own want men that have more.
No, she did not want this. I said you need to keep this. She said if you say so.
You're not listening to me.
Women I got you. Oh, trust me, I got you.
No.
I know you're trying to put a different.
No. Listen to me. Don't react. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. Sir. Women collectively, especially black women, are attracted with their own, are attracted to men with the same amount or more. They don't want a man that has less. So if you,
right? Because you know why? Because you know why? You know why? Because all these women are out here hurt, and they're taking care of these Negroes. They take care of them. I know too many of them that's taking care of these guys. Because you're over here trying to screw me. I said, what's wrong? I'm tired of that nigga. He won't go do nothing. Why you marrying? Well, I had to have a man. Ooh, Jesus.
You had to have a man.
No, Jesus ain't did nothing.
So
Jesus ain't did nothing in this equation.
I understand. But the thing is, what you just said that you could be broke and get married and all that, and couldn't afford a wife, is just debunk that, okay? You have it.
Keith, what you're saying is that he's not having a problem because he has the money. He has the appearance. There are a lot of women with him having the appearance that he have money. Then he run into a woman who's not trying to get anything from him.
Right.
And remember, Keith, dude, I'm a fat dude. I ain't big sexy. Okay, I'm fat.
But you got pocket personality. Though.
Yeah, you fat both ways. You fat, you physically fat.
I'm fat both ways.
Try being fat and broke. Try being fat and broke and see what your chances are.
Oh yeah, hey, she never left. I was broke when she never left. She was in.
So you went broke, right? But the thing is, you had produced before, right?
Okay,
well, you got to get your stuff back together. You just don't sit there. You go back to work. You find things, go back to college.
Attracting who you are. Okay, let's go back. David,
you attract who you are. If you don't have the wherewithal to get your ass back up and get busy, but I'm going to go find this broad and stick with her. She'll take care of me.
There you go.
That's where you're going to lose.
Okay, let's take a female voice. Go ahead.
Dr. Rosie, this is Elaine again. So I dated someone that was from another country, right, from Italy. Every time we got together, he would say, here's some shopping money. Then one day he said, here's some shopping money, and he threw it on the bed. I'm like, oh, my God, am I a prostitute? He says, do you want the money or not? I'm like, God, I handed you. I was busy. I just threw it on the bed. There was nothing. I think it's all about communication. It was the issue. I didn't mind if we were out and he said, here's a couple $100, go shopping, get some shoes or whatever. And I was never the kind that said, give me a credit card. Never the kind that say, I'm going to eat lobster and steak every meal. But whenever he would give me something, it just meant something. But when he threw it on the bed, I made it mean, oh, my God, what am I doing? Treating me like a whore. And so I think the issues we're having, people are going, the guy that said that the woman won't take his money, I mean, I feel really bad. And it's probably if you were in a circle with the right kind of women, maybe women that more godly or something, they would honor you and they would, be in love with you. But you're offering it to the wrong kind of women that are fake women.
Or a woman that he's offering it to a woman that doesn't need it. Okay, try it with a woman. I don't care what she is that actually needs it. She's gonna use that card.
People tend to want to give people who already have. I notice sometimes like holidays, people tend to want to give me gifts. They want to do something big, where they should be giving something to their mother, to their sister, somebody else who really needs something. Because I don't. People tend to want to give folks stuff who don't need it. I just don't know why they do that. But anyway, I'm just saying, David, what's your take on all of this?
Well, as I sit here and listen, and everybody is making some good points, but here's the thing, and it's funny when you talk about, because really what this boils down is materialism. So for about the last 10 years, I've been driving my beat-up truck because I like the fact that I don't have to pay a car note. About a month and a half ago, and by the way, there were women that I was interested in that weren't interested in me and was told that I don't like the vehicle you drive. So because the car was finally falling apart, I bought a new car about a month ago. Here come those same women now because of materialism. But wait a minute, and I asked one, I said, wait a minute, you didn't want to date me when I had the beat-up truck and I was renting cars to travel and this, that, and the other because I was being thrifty and saving money. And then that I went out and bought a new car and got a car note, all of a sudden you want to date me. Explain that to me. I was confused because I'm still the same guy, and are you saying to me because of what I am as it relates to the size of my wallet and the car that I drive, that's what makes me a man? And I think that's what annoys a lot of men. And the sister was talking about, I didn't understand, if the guy's giving you money anyway and he just puts it on the bed, how do you flip from taking the money at first and then being upset because you feel like he's treating you like a prostitute? That's the confusing messages that men get all the time with women. And it gets to a point where men, once you become self-sufficient, and Dr. Rosie, you know I'm an ex-chef. I don't need you to cook for me. I don't need you to clean for me. I'm in the IT business, so I make good money. I'm in the radio business. I make good money. What I want in a woman is someone to comfort me. And that doesn't mean sex. That means being a sounding board. That means rubbing my back, being able to identify just on my expressions that I'm frustrated. I've had a hard day at work, and you're able to say something nice to me to make me feel better. That's what I look for in a woman. And unfortunately, many of the women that most men in my category meet are so materialistic that they can't take time out to just be a woman, just be a lady. That's what most men want.
Well, let me ask you this, David. I hear black men always talking about the black women are greedy. They always beg and they want something. Could it be this many black women have so much less than other women? I mean, the others make more money. They have better opportunity. But I was dealing with a family once, and the mother said that from her son, they dated white women. We had conversation, and she said, if a white woman asks for a fur coat, you feel like she deserves it. You think nothing about it. But if a black woman asks for a fur coat, then she's a gold digger. Something is wrong with her. Now, someone told me yesterday, said the men who complain about women who wanted money are broke men. She said men with means, they think nothing. If you walk in that store and you want a purse for $1,000, they buy it. You want some jewelry, they buy it. She said the black men are frustrated because most of them are economically deprived. And that makes them angry with black women who only ask for things that women ask their men for, or that men do without you asking them. So let's talk about that. Is that true?
You make an excellent point, Dr. Rosie. That's an excellent point. But here's the thing. I don't mind, for instance, I mean, as you know, I just spent the last 4 days in Chicago. One of my favorite places to eat is at Virtue's, black-owned, very James Bearder restaurant. The meal that we had Saturday night, me and a guest, was $175. I don't mind spending money on a woman that's deserving. It's not about them being greedy, and I don't look at them that way. But what I want a woman to be able to do is look at me as a man and not look at me because I just bought a new car, or not look at me because, I do IT and I'm making good money. I just want you to look at me as a man first, not at the size of my wallet or the car that I drive. And I'm just talking about me personally. I just want you to look at me as for me, not my material wealth. Because what happens when that goes away? What happens when I get sick and I can't pull that money down anymore? What happens? Are you going to be there, or are you only there because of what I can do for you. And I think that's what concerns a lot of men.
But Dr. Rosie, have you ever asked those women what percentage of men can actually afford to do that for a woman? Okay. The men can actually do that for a woman. I mean, of any color, right? It's only 6%, right? For black men, it's 4%. We're talking about six figures, right? Okay. $75,000 will put you in the top percent of all black male earners. Okay. The median wage, the median earnings of a black man, right, is $28,000 a year. Median.
That won't pay his rent in Los Angeles.
Half above and half below. Okay, half above, half below. $28,000. That's the median earnings. Okay. So the median earnings of all Americans, if you go look at the Social Security chart, right? Median earnings of all Americans is $33,000 a year, right? Median earnings of everybody, okay? So the thing is, if that's the case, all people are broke. Not just black men, all people are broke.
Right. But these are the conversation that needs to go on. Women got to teach their daughters, because they start teaching them. Well, he got to pay the lay. I mean, I've heard women say that. I've heard them say to their daughters, well, if he can't take you out, if he can't afford to pay, you don't need to be with him. I've heard them say to 20-year-old, now 18-year-old in high school, where are they going to get money from to take your daughters to these places? It got to start someplace that everybody is what my daddy say, every tub needs to stand on its own bottom. Women need to come to the table, come to the game self-sufficient. Then you can put your little bit together and make something. You should.
Black women are not going to believe black men. Black women are not going to believe black men until we start leaving. Unfortunately, we start leaving. That's what they've told me, and you know what? It's been true. And basically, until these young black boys started showing up with different color women and blue passports, black women did not take black boys and black men seriously. Now they are. Why is that? Strange how that happens.
Well,
and I'm sad about it. But the thing is, I've known that when I was dating, when I was younger, right? Every woman I've ever dated did not believe that I was serious about what I was saying until I picked up my keys and started walking out that door.
I think with these type of dialogue, people are listening now. I think it was a woman on here that wanted to say something. Let me go to her and then come back to you. Go ahead. We had a woman on here who wanted to make a comment.
Jump in.
Well.
Oh, Doctor, was it me, Tony? Go I had something to ask that gentleman about. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, he was talking about the difference, the white women or the black women. Now, I have a friend, and you guys all know who he is. He's the lead sales guy at Torrance Hyundai. He's got no shame in his game. Black wife, had a black significant other, black this, half this, then now, white woman comes in, he went through hell with them. I don't know why. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not getting to that. Okay. He goes in, white woman sells her a car, Genesis. She buys it. It ain't about, well, they got more money. They're up in the hill of TV. No. She don't go out there to Louis Vuitton buying purses and shoes and clothes all day and all week. Now, here's the deal. Hooked up with the woman, sold her car, wound up having a lunch with her, nothing big, then wound up hooking up. Wound up marrying a woman. I said, damn, okay, white woman. Now, moves in his house. Okay, things got tough. I said, sales went down. This one happened. That went this way. But as the women were taught, our women, use your knight in shining armor. You're supposed to save you and help you. Got it. Okay, now, I know I'm going to get beat upside the head by the women on this. That's all right. It ain't about their resources. How do I manage? Management skills. He got so low, the wife said, the white woman married, and they had 2 kids, 2 little babies. He said, honey, I managed to save $100,000. What do you need? I personally have a friend I grew up with, wasn't going to tell hers nothing about the inherited wealth or whatever, because I don't, by law, you don't have to. It's true. This woman chose to help. Well, I'll be damned. What do I do? What do you do? You want to chop that up? Go ahead. When we need a part 3, go ahead. You see?
Well, Tony,
you can't get mad at the brother. The brother's living right. Now he's having a custom home built.
Yeah.
You see?
We just got to take the money out of the equation and look at the attitude and look at sharing. It doesn't matter about who
Okay,
has
I believe that. Now, if there wasn't the money in the equation, she'd have got resourceful and tried to help the men. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see what's on the board.
See?
There's something on the board.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I said America is broke. No dates for you. That's Dr. J. And then there are more black women in the world to choose from than African American women that many men are simply not choosing for mates. That's also from Dr. J.
Okay. Well, I guess we have to send a strong message to African American women. You know, I think we just have to be real and stop front. You know, women spend a lot of money that they should not be spending. They spending it thinking that they can get a man. They spend all that money on themselves, weave, nails, and everything, and still go home every week broke. So it's important for them to realize that's not what's going to get a man, and men who are attracted to all this stuff, all these nice clothes and all of this, but then you end up having to pay for it because now she wants you to pay her rent or pay her car note because she spent everything on the eyelash, the wigs, and everything else. I think we have a new caller, 870. Caller, go ahead. 870.
870. Okay.
870, go ahead.
We passing the mic. 870, jump in.
Okay, someone texted me and told me to listen to this call. I didn't know I was supposed to say something.
Oh, no. Okay, well, then just put yourself on mute, and then when you get ready to chime in, let us know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
On the board said men dating their body and women dating their pocket. That's why nobody's happy. Now, what kind of crap is that?
Well, you know, you believe it or not, you know, this is I've read and talked to and heard from like 5 or 6 female matchmakers, right? Okay. Black women actually choose the way her man looks more than any other great demographic.
Really?
Yes. So they can have fantastic men, they can have accomplished men, but the thing is, there's a looks and physical component that a lot of female matchmakers can't contend for. But that's a dynamic of our culture.
So they're not looking at the pocketbook.
They're looking at both. Okay, he's got to have the 4 6s. Well, you know, I'll make it 3 6s: 6 figures, 6 feet, and 6 pack. Well, I ain't gonna talk about the other one. But
okay, I know what the other one is. Okay, well, tell me this: what are men looking for? Aren't they looking for women who have means? Are you out looking for somebody?
You know what? This is something because I've counseled a whole bunch of men, right? And the biggest thing that men want, okay, a woman that will be loyal, faithful, and be nice to them, okay, because they're not used to that. Just be, and sometimes a lot of men just want their black woman to be nice to them, and they have a hard time getting that.
Yes.
I'm not going to dispute you on that. Your perception. Go ahead.
Yes.
We have another one.
Dr. Rosie.
Yeah.
You have no idea how Keith is right on point. I don't care about what you make. I don't care how many degrees you got. I just want you to be a nice lady. I don't want you, if you kicking tail out there, don't come home and kick tail. You know, I just want you to be a nice lady, someone I can confide into. I don't want anyone to compete with me in my household. I want to be able to just sit back. When I come home, a man's home is this castle. Make it my castle. I don't care what you make. I don't care what you drive. I don't care what you wear. And a lot of times, I don't really care what you look like, because a lady is someone on the inside, not someone who looks a certain way on the outside. Good luck.
Well, you know, a person that can be very beautiful, but when their attitude is nasty, they can look so ugly.
You know what, Dr. Rosie?
Exactly.
This is the funny thing, right? Because white guys and Asian guys and other group of men say black men have no standards when it comes to looks, right? Because a black man would date a woman that's like Lizzo's size. She can be 5'10" and weigh 350 pounds, or she can be
Yep.
she can be 5'1" and weigh 90 pounds. A black man have the widest range of preferences as far as looks, body type, skin color, hair type than any other man on the planet. Okay,
Well,
and black women still complain.
Well, I know one thing. I've seen black women with men weighing 400 pounds, and a lot of black men really don't care as much about women who are really large. But anyway, go ahead.
Contraire.
Well, now,
I wish that was the case.
more bounce to the
May I
outside.
say something?
That's 870. Go ahead. 870 wanted to say something.
Yes. I tuned in late, so I don't know what you're talking about, whatever.
We're talking about reason that black men are not married. We're talking about reason black men are unmarried. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
One reason is because they have such a wide variety. 8 women to 1 man?
Uh-huh.
Next thing, they don't want to make a commitment. That's the way I feel. They don't want to be fully committed.
And when you say committed, do you mean to one woman?
I mean fully committed to the relationship, to one woman. Yes.
Okay.
And before any of them get married, man or woman, you better know their spiritual awareness.
Okay.
The people you want to get married to, you got to be compatible some kind of way. You got to look at the character, the compatibility. There's just so much there involved. So I just don't know what, but I just think it's a commitment that they're not willing to make.
Let me ask you this, caller. Okay, why is there 3 million more black women in the United States? African American black women in the United States, right? And there's 3 million less black men. How come black men have almost 1 million more marriages, even though they're a smaller group? Why is that? Black men are actually more married than more married than black women. Why is that?
Because a lot of them are marrying the other races.
But they're married, so they still want to get married.
Yeah, they want to get
Keith,
married.
are you trying to say that black women don't want to get married?
Okay. Let me go ahead and pull it out. Right? Okay. You know what the average age of a black woman getting married is?
What?
32 years old. Right?
What?
Okay. You know what the median age of a first child for a black woman is?
What?
23 and a half. And they've said this in literature. There's books been written on it, and this is going all the way back to the 1980s. Right? Black women see motherhood first and marriage second. They'd rather be a mother than a wife.
Well, they want something they can call their own. The baby they can call their own. They can't call the man their own. They're seeing it in their mother. They're seeing it in their family. It goes down.
And the thing is, they think a black man, a husband, is an appendage that is a hindrance to them.
That's not true. Black women want to get married. We love black men.
This coming out of their mouths. This is coming out of their mouths.
Nah. Y'all been listening to the wrong women.
Well, how many wrong women are there out there, though?
These women want to get married, okay? That some of them don't want to get married because they're getting a Social Security check. You got some of these women getting a little counter check and they don't want to give that up,
Yeah, well, and that's another thing. Well, that's a whole another show, Dr. Rosie, because they proved that in 1961. In fact, there's something called the welfare cliff, right? If a man cannot earn more than what she can get from the state, she's not going to marry him, and that's part of the problem. So
you have some social and political issues that's really impacting the black men and black women.
For the last 70 years, and thing is, but nobody would. Well, number one, black women don't want to talk about it because it's always the man's fault. The reason they're not married is the man's fault. So until we actually get down to what the social issues are, we're not going to solve this. In fact, it's going to get worse.
Well, I tell you what.
May I say something?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Singleness is not a curse. In a lot of cases, it's a gift. Everybody's not meant to be married.
That's right. I agree with you. I agree with you. Let me tell you.
It's not the will of God for every person to be married.
Well, one is a whole number. Last time I checked, one is a whole number. You're not a half. You're not a part of.
Right.
If you are not married, and people, the only thing is that I say men who say they don't want to marry black women, then I'm sending a message to all you men out there. If black women not good enough for you to marry, then don't have sex with them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
See, can I get an amen out there? Y'all sick of black women, but you ain't sick of having sex.
So why are you having babies for men that won't marry you? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, they don't know that some women have been thinking that men will step up to the plate if they have a baby for them. That's why these type of conversations got to go on. Because number one, you shouldn't get pregnant by a man unless you guys talked about the fact that you all want to have a baby together. That's the unfair part about women. You really shouldn't do that.
In fact, nowadays amongst the millennials, there's more virgin men than there are virgin women.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And that's what you should be teaching your sons. Because when they bring a baby in that equation, then they find a girl they really want to marry, and they can't afford it now because they got all this child support to pay. We got to really start talking about that, Keith.
Well, guess who's complaining about it? It's not the men complaining about it. It's the women complaining about it.
What are they complaining about?
In other words, they're not getting the time, attention, from men that they used to, because a lot of young men have figured it's not worth it. They're checking out. So they're not dating, and I wish, Dr. Rosie, I wish I wasn't serious, right? I've talked to these guys, and they're checking out.
I wish they'd take away these computers.
Well,
they take away the computers and all these gadgets. I bet they'll start talking.
Well, they probably would. But the thing is, you can't change the environment that you're in, can you?
No, you can't. Can't. Bottom line, you guys, this type of conversation, I want women to look at themselves, and I want men to look at themselves. Bottom line, those who want to be married should be seeking someone, and men need to realize that there's still a lot of good women out there. It's all about communicating. They both need to stop high-siding. Women do that. They act like they got it going on. When they don't have a dime in the bank, they're looking good. They're riding a new car. They got $1,000 wig, instead of trying to impress somebody. Impress your bank account. That's what you need to impress. Impress leaving a legacy for those children that you brought into the world, instead of spending everything you have on looking good, and you're still going home by yourself. That's what I keep telling women. You're looking good, but you're still going home by yourself. So what is it? Is it your new car? Is it all the fine clothes you're wearing? Is it the weave that you have down to your butt? Ask yourself a question. What is it?
Yeah, I want to just ask the 870 about marriage, right? About black men not getting married. Black men are willing to spend the money, get a passport, and travel thousands of miles to find a wife. Okay, does that seem like men that don't want to get married? If you're willing to get on a plane, travel to a foreign country where you don't speak the language because you want a wife. Does it sound like people that don't want to get married?
That's because the stereotypes, all the different stuff that people keep saying about black women. And when you hear men talk about, I'm not going to marry, I don't want a black woman. What the heck do you think their sons are going to think? Come on, Keith. What are their sons going to think? There's something wrong with a black woman.
In fact, I had a guy that has. I always ask guys, okay, what is your son doing, and who they're dating, and why they're not dating them, right? And the first thing they come back and they have a son that's dating or talking to another kind of woman. How come you're not dating a black woman? He says the number one reason always comes back right here, because black girls are mean to me. They're not nice to me.
They're what?
They're mean to me. They're not nice to me. There's reason for that. I don't want to. We can actually do another show. I actually tell you why that is. But they're mean to me. And where the other girls, the Latina, the white woman, the Asian woman, the other woman, a woman that's not from this country, she's nice to me.
They are nicer to them too.
No. See, there we go. You're adding stuff to it. You're not listening to me, Dr. Rose. Dr. Rose, I always tell you. I said, Dr. Rose is my mentor.
You already been through here.
Dr.
You haven't
Rosie,
sent up your email?
Okay, Dr. Rosie's my mentor. Dr. Rosie.
So you've already signed into your account, right?
Years that
David,
you just need my signature.
You got to mute, David.
Dr. Rosie has been saying for 30 years that black women do not listen to their men. Okay, and you guys are not listening to me.
And
you're putting things into it.
It's a tone of voice, and Keith, I understand what you're saying, because
a
lot of these young girls come from single family home. They come from home where their mothers are angry, the father is out, he's not giving child support, he's not taking care of the children. Mm-hmm. They the breadwinner. Black women, a lot of them are angry. And it comes out in the tone of the voice, the way they answer, the way they talk to you. And not that they mean to be mean. It's just like they in a fighting stance all day. They fighting at the school for the kids. They trying to kick them out. They fighting on the job. So they in a fight mode.
No, hold on a second, Doctor. Hold on a second. That's not true, Dr. Rosie. There's a movie called Love and Basketball. Look at those. They come from an upper middle class family home, right? One's a banker, one's a NBA basketball player, right? Those are homes that they came from, right? And when the boy and girl first meet, they fight, right? Black men and women have a unique mating strategy, right? Where we actually snarky at each other, we hit each other, we talk bad to each other, because that's our unique mating style. Okay, it's a unique mating style amongst African Americans. Okay, but the thing is, when you get out onto the market where you have other people choices around, okay, that comes across as mean. I'm trying to tell guys, this is your mating strategy, this is your mating style. It just doesn't fit with the modern environment.
And
it's been passed down.
Like if you go among Africans and they are talking, you kind of reserve. You think they're about to ready to fight, but that's their culture. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You seen them when you think they're about to fight and they playing and having a conversation? We refuse to understand the culture of our people, and then we won't think the way we think.
That's fine. You can understand the culture of your people. The thing is, when you get around variety and boys have another way, another style that they're more comfortable with or they like, they're going to go that direction. The thing is, we got to start talking about this and get down to the source of it. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah. Excuse me, can I say something right quick?
Yes, Paul, go ahead.
Okay. Now, somebody's going to pick up on this, but it seems that, African Americans, black folks, FBA, ADOS, whichever way you want to call it, it seems like we practice Klingon mating ritual. Okay? We mad at each other, we throw stuff, we argue and all this other kind of stuff, and then we still get together. But we still complain about, hey, well, they're not doing this and he's not doing that. And I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, we just got to understand, put it all together. Black folks mad. Black folks are angry. Black folks are depressed. Black folks have problems. So what do? We embrace each other in spite of that, because we should understand for all the behaviors that we see in the black man and black woman, it's time to come to a basic understanding as to why, and try to see how we can help resolve and bring more peace and more love and more joy. We just got to start doing it. Hey, you don't have to talk so loud, baby. I hear you. We need to say that instead of saying, she's so loud and she talks so rough. Let's help each other. Let's help to heal each other. That's what I'm talking about. Let's do it. Because we don't have to be that way. So anyway.
It is what it is.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Another reason black men's not married nowadays, they liking each other. That's another reason.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I told you, Dr. Rose, you can't talk to these people.
You about to get a reaction here.
Wait,
so
does
that apply to black women liking each other?
Wait a minute. You know what one of my friends told me, Colin? She told me, she said, far as she's concerned, most men are homosexuals. She said they like men. They like to go to plays with men. They like to go to games. They'd rather be with men, that they only come together with women for one common cause. And I said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. She said, start watching Men Love to Be with Men.
And?
I'm just replying to what the caller said. She said many of them are not married because, They don't want a woman, period.
Wouldn't that apply to women as well?
Well, we happen to be talking about men. That's why we
see that is it. That's
Oh.
In fact, in the black community, the vast majority.
We're talking about women on Women's Day.
The biggest percentage of homosexual relationships are women and women.
This is Men's Day, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, Keith, don't kill her with numbers. Keith, don't kill her with facts. Stop.
Okay, don't kill her with facts. Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's good for me, but not for thee, right?
Yeah, this is Men's Day when we get on Women's Day.
In other words, men can't travel. Men can't go get foreign wives. Men can't be homosexual. Men can't do a whole lot of things, right? Women can do whatever they want.
Well.
It is what it is.
Irrespective of whatever the problems are in the black community, ultimately the black man is going to get blamed for it no matter what the problem is.
So you might as well, if you got to be the villain, you might as well take on that role, right?
It's no blame. It's no blame. It's not going to be plausible. We are going to heal the village. We are going to heal the village. Sometimes black men say, well, the white man treat the black woman better. But I always say, look, you guys, the black woman did not come to America on TWA or American Airlines. Write that in your book. They came on that same slave ship, chained and branded the same way. Yeah. So we can spend a lifetime loving and hugging and patting and kissing each other to try to heal the wound. The black man and the black woman have both been abused. So we need to look at why we act the way we do. People say we talk loud. It's culture. We have to talk loud. Hell, you're out there in the field hollering, calling your man who opened another field. Black folk loud. Yeah, we loud.
But you're going to have to adapt, okay? That's
so we got to talk about it, baby. You don't have to talk that loud. I'm right here by you now. You're a little loud. Mm-hmm. We got to start correcting each other. That's all we got to do. Correcting each other.
We're going to have a talk, Dr. Rosie. Because I talked to a whole bunch of men. We're going to have a talk because I got too much data. Okay,
then we're going to bring it on, you guys. That's what this show is about, is to give data that you're not getting from Channel 2, you're not getting from any place else.
Yeah.
Tim said y'all need to deal with women of a different class of women. I ain't going to get into that class.
Ooh, you know what? This is something that Dr. Johnson had a talk with Judge Joe Brown, right? And he says, a black man can't get no respect at 6 figures. He said, try 8. In other words, try 8 figures. You can't get no respect either.
Oh my God.
A lot of it, you guys, has to do with the media. If black folks turn that TV off, y'all hear me real good. When I become president, I'm going to make it illegal for a black person to turn the TV off. If you turn that TV off, that's showing you every day who you are not versus who you are. In 6 months, we would be a transformed people if we didn't listen to the news and we didn't listen to that darn TV. We didn't watch it.
You know what, Dr. Rosie, because I was listening to these 2 women in Ghana, right? And they were saying that the black woman's reputation all over the world is not good. It's not good because they travel to Ghana.
Who put out that reputation? Oh, come on, Keith.
I know. They do. But the thing is, basically, black women support all these ratchet reality shows. Mm-hmm. They support all this ratchet stuff. They support Cardi B. They support Megan Thee Stallion. They support all this stuff, right? They supported the biggest watchers of Scandal that Shonda Rhimes puts out, right? About a black woman actually being a concubine for the white president. Okay, supported by black women. Okay, stop supporting the media that actually denigrates you, unless you agree with it. But they're the first ones that actually contribute all this money toward these kind of shows because that's the way they see themselves. Unfortunately, I don't know when it's going to change. That they're not listening to you, Dr. Rosie, because I keep telling Dr. Rosie has been telling me, she's been schooling me on this stuff, and she's 100% right. If black women like being in reverse order of nature, okay, fine, that's the way it is. Okay, right. Admit it and move on. Black women will say, no, it's not that way. We're not in control. It's black men's fault. Blah, blah, blah. We're not in control. But you are. But you don't want to admit it. Admit it, try to correct it, and move on.
We have more power than we give ourselves credit for. A lot of women only want to have bedroom power. I'm going to say that again. And don't you guys start sending me no email. You know, sometimes when I make comments, they call in, but you shouldn't have said that. No, black women, you have more than bedroom power. Because some of the power you think you have in the bedroom, the man is making you think you have that power. Yeah. You don't have no power. That's not the kind of power you need. You need power when you get up out of the bed. Come on now, walk with me. Somebody needs to say amen up in here. You need power past the bedroom. And that's what is important. And we want men, David, to stop seeing us as like a car, like a body part. Look at them, the head, the tail, the headlights, the rear end, all that kind of stuff. We're not a car. We are a person. And you know what? We're going to get it together.
We'll have to have the discussion.
I don't want to have to beat y'all into submission.
No. The thing is, we're going to have an honest discussion about black men and black women and sex, because it's the reverse of what you think it is. Because if you talk to white men, talk to Asian men, right, the woman is there to serve him, right? In the black community, the black man sexually is actually there to serve the black woman. If he doesn't, his reputation is going to be trash. If you don't make her liver quiver and her toes tingle, he gonna get talked about. Okay. If he can't entertain her with game and tell her jokes and make her feel comfortable, stuff like that, he gonna get talked about. And that's the one thing that we will not admit. Black men, as far as sex, is actually to serve black women, right? Talk to a white guy, he said, "What the hell are you guys talking about? They can't understand us. A woman's orgasm is not important, you know." Yours is. She's there to serve you. So you come to a black community and try that stuff. It don't work on this side, player.
Keith, we are going to have a whole forum. That's why I wrote the book, Satisfying the Black Man section, Satisfying the Black Woman. Because we dance at a different beat. That's why men stroke out every day, because they stop taking their high blood pressure medication, because if they can't get the erection that they feel that they should have, then they'll stop taking their medicine. They'd rather die from a heart attack than to not, be erected. We do have some issues from the bedroom and sexuality, and it's time that we talk about it. It really is. So we have to do a night show. I'm going to have to go on night, because they're going to put me off the air on the day, because, So we're going to pull off a night show once a month, you guys, and we're just going to let it rip, because we need to understand some things. What's on the board?
Oh, yeah. Okay, there's a couple things. It's one reason that African American men are having an increasing problem coupling with African American women is because these women tend to stand for Americanism, which most black men are not at war with. What does an African American woman stand for? That is true. Okay, and the second thing is Nigerians and Ghanaians are allowed too. It might be genetic. That is true, but the thing is, I've noticed this and I've heard this, and they had two black women complaining that their culture is not, black American culture is not consistent with the Ghanaian women. They call Ghanaian women too soft and too quiet. But it is what it is.
And it's not just the loudness you got; it's the attitude, the body language that goes with how we're expressing ourselves. That's what makes it different, So we need to have a whole class on that, and we will. And you guys, this show will re-air at 6:00 tonight Pacific Standard Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So those who didn't get a chance to watch it, make sure you send your friends to innerlightradio.com, and they can listen at this show. I think some real good information. We heard from men today. We heard from men. So you can't say, and you can go to my YouTube too, Dr. Rosie Milligan YouTube, and you'll be able to hear the show. So for those who were on, we thank you very much. David, thank you all the way from Tennessee. Paul, Tony, everybody that was on here, we thank you. And we'll see you next week with another great show. And we had a new call, I think, from 870 was new. Elaine, we're glad to have you back. So you guys just keep tuning in and let us know what you want to hear. So have a great day and be on your way.